I'm a little surprised that I properly have to cross the train tracks here. So I'll make quick work of this. These train tracks have been very active, at least something, because I've been hearing trains. But that's the PCT right there.
A handful of miles outside where the trail resumed, I came to a water cache that is maintained by volunteer trail angels. This water makes it possible for hikers without having to carry an excruciating amount of water. Some recent cases of norovirus had been reported in the area, so these trail angels put some procedures into place and made some supplies available to help mitigate the risks.
I'm halfway through the desert. Well, it's getting late and I've climbed quite a bit. It's not really that many miles, but a fair amount of climbing. Getting tired, and I'm hoping to find a vacant campsite soon. The one I was kind of aiming for was a little while back, and I thought it would be empty because I've talked to pretty much everyone in this section today and got an idea of where they were intending to camp. However, one person didn't go as far as they were planning to go, so he ended up snagging that spot, which is fine. I'm not entitled to it. He got there first. It's there for him. But it just means that I have to find something else. Hopefully soon, because it is getting cold and dark. But I'm on the edge of a mountain where the trail is, dug in. And there's not a lot of camping when you're in areas like this. So, fingers crossed. I'll find something, I always do. What do you know? I found something. Amazing. It's just right off the trail and probably have a pretty good view. Welcome to day 32 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Beautiful scenes around me. I am wearing a funky combination of things because I am still climbing in elevation. I have over 2,000 feet of elevation still to climb. I've got to get up to like 8,200 feet today, and I'm at like 6,200 so far. But it's cold. The wind is cold. You can see there are a lot of clouds in the sky. But when that wind comes through, it is biting cold. And I'm just thinking, in about a week and some change, I'm going to be fighting for my life in the lower desert in the heat. So I can't complain about it too much right now, but it's not feeling very comfortable. I am halfway through the mileage that I need to do today, so I'm stopping to take a little break. I'm also at 7,000 feet. Cheers. I'm having an Uncrustable for lunch. These clouds look like they could be rain clouds, which is interesting. How often do you just sit and watch the clouds? It is not even 4 p.m. I've set up my tent. I'm in my tent. I have changed out of my wet hiking clothes. They were wet from sweat because I've been hiking uphill all day. I've got my sleeping bag. I'm about to inflate my sleeping pad. I do not know if I'm going to camp here tonight, but I do know that I need to get my body warm. I am so cold right now, and this wind with the clouds covering the sun, it has got to be about freezing with the feels like temperature. And the only thing that's kept me warm for as long as I've been and safe for as long as I've been is that I've been hiking uphill. But I just got up to the summit, so now the rest of the hike is downhill, which is gonna be a problem because I'm freezing. So I'm just gonna maybe even make some soup, just do everything I can to try to get my body warm because I am extremely cold right now. Yeah, I'm up above, I think I'm at like 8,200 feet. So it's cold. It's cold. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but it's snowing. I am warm in my bed, or warm enough, but what? Fresh evidence of last night's snow, or whatever that is. I don't think it's hail. I really do think it is snow or frozen rain. I don't know what the difference between the two is, but both of them are cold. I can tell you that firsthand experience. One decision that I've made for this section of the PCT that I've gone back and forth about, hemmed and hawed on, and ultimately decided on the riskier decision was I don't have any pants with me. I have 2 pairs of shorts. One pair of shorts that I hike in. Both of them I can hike in. But one is designated for hiking. One is designated for sleeping. And that's worked pretty well for me until this point. I didn't actually start the trail like that. That is something that I changed because I was finding that my sleep pants, they're really just like thermal layers, so I could hike in them as well, were too warm for me to sleep in at any of the nights. So I thought, okay, I'll switch them out for another lightweight pair of shorts. And I've done that. After I made that change up until last night, yesterday, I didn't regret that decision at all. So I still kind of think that it is the right choice for me. Not recommending it to anyone else in a high elevation environment, even in the summer. It's not a recommendation. Don't do it. But I knew with my, other options like setting up my tent, getting in my sleeping bag, I would be able to get warm if I needed to. And yesterday was proof that that does in fact work. But I wanted to share with you one little thing that I do, and I've even done when I've had thermal layers and it's been even colder at night, is, and this is true for other women I've talked to as well. I've never met a man who's encountered this, but it could also be true for some men, is my hips and butt area will actually get quite cold in my quilt or sleeping bag. And that'll be like the only part of me that's cold. So what I did last night was I put my sit pad, this one right here, with the silver side up, under my hips and my sleeping pad. And then when I first got to camp, I layered up into my warm layers. I took off anything that had any sweat on it. I put on my warm layers like my Melly and my puffy. And I put my puffy on top. And then on the bottom, I was just in my sleeping bag with my shorts on. So, of course, my legs were still feeling cooler. But because they were already so cold, I didn't want to just throw my puffy on over them. I wanted my puffy to get warm from my core, which was feeling warmer. And then once my core started to feel really solidly warm, I took my puffy off because that was then warm, and I put it over my hips and thighs and actually sleep like that. And it works really well. So just a little tidbit there. PCT is not even an option right now. I have to walk the road because you can hear that wood chipper. It's literally like right on the trail. Well, it's not literally on the trail. It is right next to the trail. I do not want it blowing all of that stuff in my face. And I suppose I don't want the work crew to have to pause to let me pass. So the road it is. That must be Wrightwood right down there. It seems so close. There you can see the hoarfrost on these trees up here. Crazy. What a strange dichotomy of things in this scene. We've got the spring wildflowers, hoarfrost on these burned trees, standing dead, blue skies. It's just all the seasons or all the life cycles. It's very, very strange, but beautiful. It's so beautiful. You see, it's a ski resort up here. A lift for Mountain High Ski Resort. This is home for the night. So the most random thing happened is that I was invited to stay by a trail angel who picked me up from the trailhead and brought me down into Wrightwood. But randomly he picked me up because he was dropping other people off. And then he asked me if I had a place to stay. And I said, no, I don't. And he said, I have a place to stay for you for free. It's in a studio in my garage. And I said, sure, why not? Because, what? I just realized that I, once again, did a terrible job of documenting town. And I was actually intending to film an entire town resupply video. However, things just kind of happen. And I was waiting, I was hitching a ride on Angeles Crest Highway 2 as planned. There's not a lot of traffic on the highway because the road closes just about 5 miles up from where I was trying to hitch. So the only traffic really coming through is road crew that's currently working on the road damage. However, a trail angel by the name of Kevin, who truly is an angel, came by in his Jeep and he was dropping off some other hikers and offered me a ride into Wrightwood. And I said, absolutely, I'd love a ride. And he asked me if I had accommodations booked, which I did not. And I told him I do not. And he said, well, Wrightwood is very expensive, but my wife and I have a studio built out in our garage with a full bathroom, a full kitchen, washer, dryer, and you're welcome to have it for free for the night. And so, I mean, of course, I said yes. I mean, maybe not of course, because I'm saying yes to staying with a stranger, but that is just some of the magic of the trail. And it was a great experience. There was 2 French women that also were planning on staying down in Wrightwood, and so he gave them a ride down there, but first took us into town and took us down to Phelan, which is actually a few miles outside of Wrightwood, and it's not like a mountain resort town, it's an actual town, so the prices were better. Actually took me past the post office in Wrightwood where I had sent a resupply box, and then we went to eat in Phelan. I went to the Dollar Tree and the grocery store and just bought basically groceries for being in town. I bought a salad pack for dinner and stuff like that, and went back to the studio and showered, relaxed, worked on editing videos, and getting my pack ready to head back out on trail today. So I am here out back on trail, but this is going to be for the next video. So one of these days I'll capture a proper town day. We'll see. But thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.